I ventured into business, personal businesses. And then in 2017, after I left the provisional administration, I also served this county as the chairman of the County Land Management Board in 2015 to 2016, until when that act again was removed by the National Assembly. Thereafter, in 2017, I got elected as a member of the County Assembly for Tarbaj until 2022, when I again decided to run, but lost to a very great friend of mine, Honorable Ahmed Khair, who is now the current MCA. That is very brief history for Isa Garore. During my services in various places, definitely I had a number of achievements, which from my documents you will be able to see some of the personal awards that I got, especially when I served under the office of the president. An award from the human rights in the Coast region, who awarded me as one of the best performing public servant for 2011. That was an award and an honor that I got during that time. Thank you.
Mine is a general question. You have noted there's high tendencies of indiscipline have been noted in Wajir County, county government staffs. These include absenteeism, sometimes nepotism, malingering, politicking in the social media, and this can be attributed to staffs not undergoing induction course after employment. What's your take on this, and how can we curb such tendencies?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I think at a personal level, and as being a career public servant, and most likely on management positions, it is a tendency that has cropped up recently. I know it is alarming, but because the CEC, of course, the position I'm being nominated to, is not going to be operating in vacuum, I will have to at least address most of those tendencies together with all the individuals who are serving in those particular departments, to make sure that we try to educate most of our staff and individuals who are working in various parts of the county, to make sure that we have at least a robust public service, so that we do not have people who indulge with a lot of tendencies, like trying to do a lot of politicking in the social media. It's my prayer that that will of course come to an end once we try to inject our experiences and the traits that we are going to have in this particular class.
Honorable Aden.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable nominee, have you ever done any achievement for the community? If yes, what were your greatest achievement? Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, once again, this achievement on
community service. If you ever done, if you ever come over it, then what were your greatest achievement?
Thank you very much. Of course, I had undertaken a number of participatory activities in the community services. Of course, for the last couple of years when I was serving as a member of County Assembly, most of the activities that we do undertake are community-based activities. And there are a number of achievements I am certain that must have been realized, particularly in the area that I represent. I represented that time. So the achievements are numerous. There were a number of activities that we undertook in those particular areas we represented. And it is my hope that in where I serve, as I mentioned, there is no place or no subsector that I served and left without an achievement. And I think that will be rightly found in the records that I have presented.
Minority Leader.
Good morning, Mr. Irobe. Honorable Irobe, congratulations for your nomination. My name is Abdirizak Dakat Ibrahim, MCA for Korondile and the Minority Leader. From your experience in the public sector, I'm almost contented. But my question to you is in relation to the global digitalization. What is the status of digital connectivity of Wajir County?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Minority Leader. I think being a nominee for ICT is most likely why that question has to come. I've not yet assumed the office, but I believe we have a number of connectivity which has been taking place because I'm not a stranger. I've worked and served in this county for the last 5 years. We have 15 public offices that do exist in this headquarters of Wajir. And the 15 are all connected, particularly, though in a low very rate. The ISP connectivity is there. ISP is the internet service provider that we do have, which is coming from the Safaricom, has been made available to almost all the 15 public offices that we have in the district headquarters of Wajir town. And that is the level of connectivity. I know the issue of connectivity might not 100% be achieved because we have what we normally refer to as what do you call this? The optic fiber, the national optic fiber, which has currently been terminated in Abaswene, is just going along the Mandera Road through Wajir up to Tarbaj. But that one has been terminated. But certainly, I'm sure once we have this optic fiber, I am sure the connectivity rate is going to be perfectly well in most of the offices and public places that we do have. It's also going to be cheaper for most of the people who are going to be using this kind of service provisions.
Chair, Vice Chair.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Majority Leader. It's true that I was the Vice Chair in the second seat. And we have actually managed very little, I hope to be very honest, particularly on the matter of connectivity in the county assembly. One of the major setbacks that we have had is that we have inherited a very huge pending bill, which was not able to give us most of these activities in the assembly going forward. And it's my prayer that now we have got a new lot, we will be able to have a vibrant county assembly with proper connectivity through the leadership that we have. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, as a senior member of this community of Wajir, I'm very sure you are aware of the unemployment problem we have in this country. And huge expectation. I'm sure it has lived with you in the last 5 years when you served as an MCA. It's living with us. We have a very high expectation. Your docket, especially in terms of trade, investment, and industry, is an area where if we have a very focused leadership, we can make major strides in trying to create employment opportunity for the county. I know very well that is very much dependent on goodwill from the executive. But what is your vision for the county in terms of that aspect?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I know there is the issue on the tendency of so much unemployment. I have to accept and agree to that. And I know that the expectations are very high. That is also becoming normal. In the docket that I am being nominated to, I know there is going to be a very, very huge expectation. I know the issue of trade, industry, and cooperative is one area where most of the people we expect to be flocking to seek self-centered employments. It is my vision that once I join the department fully, with your approval, then we are going to have so many of the small SMEs, the enterprises, the cooperatives, and the industries that we are looking upon. Because there are a number of industries also that can be created, that do also exist, that need to be given proper funding so that we are able to employ very many of these youths who are trying to seek employment. I know we have also the issue of the revolving fund, where once we try to disperse to the various categories, including the youth, the women, the persons living with disability, and the cooperatives, they will be able to engage in activities that will be able to employ a number of youths that are jobless today.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa, I want you to give us about 3 or 4 milestones or major achievements you intend to have by the end of 5-year tenure in these portfolios of trade, investment, and industry. 4 or 5 things which you think should probably be legacy projects in your tenure.
First one, Honorable Speaker, once I take this role, I will much try to see that we support, in collaboration with the Department of Lands, the GIS system, so that we have most of these manual processes automated. The GIS, the Geographical Information System, is a system that is being carried out both by the Department of Lands and the ICT Department. And in collaboration, we'll make sure that we will have most of our activities in almost all the departments. Their programs, policies will be undertaken at a fingertip. And we will be able to know that that will be achieved once we get the goodwill from the county government head together with the departments. That is a major milestone action. I would intend to make sure that it is achieved. That is the first one. Number 2, on matters trade, it is also going to be a priority for me to ensure that most of our small-scale traders are supported and even removed from the areas that we see them doing or carrying out their businesses. Like today, you will see in Wajir town, we have very many roadside sellers. I will try to pump an idea where we will be able to have most of these businesses relocated so that they are able to undertake very, very neat businesses in places that we can be able to at least identify for them and support them in those particular businesses that they undertake. The other thing that I would wish to also see is that we provide proper capacity to almost all the stakeholders and players, particularly the staff of the county government that are implementing most of these programs so that they are able to deliver their mandate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Isa Garore. We have come to the end of this session and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and the panel.
If you are testimonials, business. Ahmed, welcome to this session. We have the County Assembly of Ideas Committee on appointment here. We are 7 honorable members. We also have other honorable MCS attending this session as a friend of the committee. We have the clerks of the assembly and members of the secretariat supporting this committee. We also have the press and members of the public in attendance. You are here before this committee pursuant to the Standing Order, Section 192(4), and the Constitution of Kenya, Article 179(2)(b), and Section 35 of the County Government Act, and Section 6 of the Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act, to be vetted for a CEC position in the County Government of Wajir. So welcome to the session, and we begin by you giving us a brief on your personal background your qualifications, and your work experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Chairman of the committee. Uh, First and foremost, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you. Secondly, my name is Ahmed Mohamed Wardere, a CEC nominee for Education, Social Welfare and Family Affairs. I was born in the year 1988 in Wajir County. I started my basic education at Furaha Primary School in the year 1995. Sat for my Kenya Certificate of Primary Examination in the year 2002, and thereafter proceeded to secondary school, and I started my Form 1 at Furaha Mixed Day Secondary School in the year 2003. Sat for my Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination in the year 2006, and thereafter I proceeded to Migori Teachers Training College, where I started practicing as a teacher in the year 2000 and 2007, 2009. After I graduated and sat for my PTE examination, the year 2011, I enrolled my first year in the university, pursuing Bachelor's Degree Education Arts in Mount Kenya University, where I graduated in the year 2014 with a second class honors upper division. Alongside my academic qualifications, I've also been capacity built on various line programs, ranging from disaster management and response. These are some of short courses I attended or I have pursued. These include disaster management and response. I've also done a package on monitoring and evaluation. I've done first aid trainings. I've been trained as a first aid instructor, serving Kenya Red Cross Service for the last 10 years as a first aid instructor. Among other issues, I was also elected. I served as an elected chair for the youths of this county, 6 terms, 2 terms of 3 years each, representing Kenya Red Cross Society Youths Wajir branch. Thereafter, I was elected as the regional youth chairperson in charge of Northeastern region, and I sat on the National Youth Committee at Kenya Red Cross Nairobi office. Among other issues, also, I have been trained as a child protection officer by Kenya Red Cross. I've also been trained as a public hygiene and sanitation, or a program named FAST by Kenya Red Cross Society. I've been trained on community-led total sanitation, or a CLTS program. So those are some of qualifications or professionals I can say about it. Then as far as my work experience is concerned, I was formerly employed by the Teacher Service Commission in the year 2009 as a classroom teacher at Ama Primary School. That's where I started my teaching profession. Before that, I taught a private school for 6 months, where I was acting as the head teacher of that school. Thereafter, proceeded with the commission at Ama Primary School. The year 2014, I was appointed as the deputy head teacher at Furaha Primary School. I served my capacity as the deputy head teacher at Furaha Primary School. Thereafter, in the year 2016, I was deployed to Wajir High Secondary School by the Teacher Service Commission, and I served both as a classroom teacher, head of department, at the same time a guiding and counseling master. So I served under the Teacher Service Commission for a period of 14 years. Until recently, 28th of September, when I was nominated by His Excellency the Governor for the position of CCM member, education, social affairs, and family, social welfare and family affairs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Nominee Wajir, I ask you, you're being nominated as a CEC, as specified in the Kenyan Constitution, their roles that are played by the CEC. Can you elaborate on what is your role if you are today given that opportunity to become a CEC?
Thank you. First and foremost, the roles of CEC is enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 179(2), and among other roles, the chief of the CEC is the policy maker in the department. Is in charge of making policy. So one of the roles is formulation of policies for the department. Also, the CEC monitors the county integrated development plan and ensures its formulation and execution. Thirdly, the CEC also facilitates the implementation, the formulation of the county integrated development plan. And lastly, the CEC advises the governor on matters relating to the department where you serve, and all any other advice you can afford to His Excellency the Governor. Thank you.
Honorable Malik.
Mr. Wardere, I want to ask you, there is no county education policy framework to govern the ECD teachers in terms of their skill, work, recruitment, Duxi and Madarati teachers in place. How do you intend to address this issue?
Thank you. You know, first and foremost, in a department or in a administrative unit, there must be some policies in place for you to implement your work to the satisfaction of the people you are serving. Therefore, what I intend to do, God willing, if this honorable office vets me and approves me to serve as the CC, I will produce policies, frameworks that takes care of the entire ECD department in terms of its human resource, in terms of its other requirements. When you have a policy framework for a department, it's easy to run. So it's unfortunate that I'm hearing the county department has no policy framework for the ECD. So one thing I will ensure is that I will prepare the soonest time possible and table a policy framework for early childhood development education and any other department, any other activity that comes under. Thank you.
Minority Leader.
Congratulations, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed Wardere, for your nomination. My question to you is, what do you consider as your greatest strength, and what do you consider as your weakness?
Thank you. My greatest strength, first, I am one man who likes to work in team, as a team. So I'm a team player. I can work under minimum supervision. I can work under pressure. I can, make friends and retain them. I'm one man who doesn't, boast, or I don't want to be a boss, but I want to be a leader in wherever I go. Those are some of my strengths. The other one is I can work with diverse people with diverse backgrounds and different, maybe religious beliefs or difference in race. Issues to do with my shortcomings or my weaknesses. I hate delegating duties. I don't like delegating duties to other people to do it on my behalf, because this can lead to delay in my performance. Secondly, uh, I'm one man who likes to associate with people. So, for example, when it comes to people seeking for assistance in my office, I like to meet each and every one of them, the needs of each and everyone. So that to me, I see it as a weakness, because when you want to satisfy the needs of the people or who come under you, it sometimes it is difficult, but I'm passionate to serve to the satisfaction of the people who I'm leading or I'm representing them in that particular department. Thank you.
Honorable Business Leader. We know this kind of course. Some of the children are born with their fathers and mothers, other neighboring counties, or other counties, Somalia. Some of them left school. Some of the schools at this time closed. How will you address this?
Uh, Surely this is an area that is sometimes difficult to manage. But what I intend to do, inshallah, if I resume office, you know, the issues the majority leader has talked about touches on two main issues. One is the security issue. That one, is something that I cannot do it alone. Something that I should participate as one of the stakeholders to ensure that where we reside or where our schools are security wise taken care of. Secondly, what I intend to introduce maybe to ensure that there's retention of learners in school is maybe to introduce the school feeding program. When there's drought and people are moving up and down, some or people are nomads. So the main thing why there's poor retention of students at school is maybe lack of food. When there's no food at home and if there's no food at school, it will be hard to maintain children, especially the young children at school. So what I intend to do is to introduce the school feeding program. I don't know whether it is existing now for the ECD, but I do intend to introduce what we call the school feeding program.
Say you don't like it. That's not likely to cause paralysis in the department whereby officers who are working under you will be idle.
Not really. When an officer is employed, he has some TORs that he's supposed to undertake. What I don't like to delegate is my duties as the person in charge of that department. But any other officer has his own laid down rules to terms to undertake. I'm not saying that I will be the only one working in that department. What I'm saying is that my roles as the CEC, when you delegate your role, it means sometimes it may not be done to your satisfaction. And then being the head of that department is tantamount to collapse. But what my other officers, starting from the chief officer going downwards, they will all be doing their roles. I will not interfere with their roles. What I'm trying to say that I will not engage is my duties as the CC.
In the lead up to this interview, you must have done a bit of research on what is currently going on in the department where you nominated as a CEC. What are some of the challenges? Just give me two challenges you're facing, and how do you intend to address them?
Thank you. The department is a big department. There's so many For example, in education, social welfare, and family affairs, it encompasses the youth aspect, the sports aspect, the gender, and the TVET, or technical. So when I talk about maybe the challenges that there are going, one is already a question that was posed to me. There is lack of policy framework in the department to, show the or the needs to address the needs of the department. So what I intend to do is to bring the policy in place through the help of this August House. Secondly, in the TVET or the technical part, you know, students are trained on these artisan or masonry skills, but there is no guarantee of them being given a job. Hence, ending up, being idle. So what I intend to do, inshallah, if I resume office, is maybe allocate or through the support of the other, the department, is maybe to allocate some funds to buy them some startup kits. For example, when you train someone as a tailor, and then you leave him like that to go and hustle or look for a job, it's not good. So what I intend to do is maybe to put up some startup capital for them, i.e. buying them the materials so that they can take up the duties. The other thing that I intend to also improve is that in my department again it touches about the religious part, whereby in our Somali setup, this county is predominantly occupied by the Somalis. They have the tendency of not taking their children to school at early age, bearing in mind that the belief that they have, they need to start with the Quranic school. So what I intend to do is maybe to bring also policies to see whether we can employ the religious leaders to our ECD centers so that they can be trained at that early age. Instead of now the child losing education or basic education just because of undergoing the Quranic teaching, he can do it both at school, whereby the Quranic teacher comes, teach him, and the other subject teacher also comes. So those are some of the reforms that I do think, if they are brought to this house and they are ratified, they can be of help to the entire Wajir County and to the children of Wajir.
Where do you see Wajir in 5 years' time?
My prayer for Wajir in the next 5 years is to be better than where it is. Wajir, as you are aware, under the devolution, it has risen up the first 5 years and it has somehow deteriorated in between. So my prayer is that in the next 5 years, I wish Wajir to rise higher than where it is, especially the education department. God willing, it will be, there will be, I promise that the Wajir County Education Department will be a better placed than where it is in the next 5 years, based on policy issues, based on performance, in terms of service delivery to the people. So, I can have a thinking of taking Wajir's name high, but as a human being, someone who is maybe in charge of maybe a small department, what I can do at my personal level is to ensure that I play my part wherever I am, and also, negotiate with my other people, my other colleagues, to also do the same wherever they are, so that we can see what they are rising together and restoring the hope. Thank you.
Shuma, thank you very much. You now have an opportunity to ask a question or two. If you don't have, you are at liberty.
Thank you very much. I don't have many questions to ask, but one maybe I see it's very important. In the event that my department, with the help of the Committee for Education, we manage to tackle a bill touching on policy issues that I talked about. How prepared is the County Assembly of Wajir to ensure that that bill goes through the required process and it is implemented by, or it is prepared and passed before it is being used or implemented at the branch at the department level? Thank you. That's the question. How prepared is the assembly, and how long can it take for such a bill maybe to be finalized to its logical conclusion? Thank you.
Do you have a bill in mind? Do you have a bill?
No, but
Just want to know whether assembly will support you trying to
this one of ECD, for example, you asked me a question where you say that currently the county has no ECD policy framework. So in case we maybe come up with such.
So we have team members, we have staff of the assembly. We want to assure you, and we want to assure anybody who is here that we provide every support available to convert the policies and programs of the executive to bills mutually. We provide you every support that we can. As per the time, bills they have legislative timelines. So other than for that, we will give every support that we can.
Thank you. Such.
Are we set? Okay, next candidate, please. Habiba, welcome to welcome to this session.
Thank you.
You are seated before the County Assembly of Wajir's Committee on Appointment pursuant to Standing Order 1924 and Article 179(2)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya, and Section 35 of the County Government Act, and Section 6 of the Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act, to be vetted as a CEC member of the County Government of Wajir. We are 7 of us. There are also other honorable members in the Assembly who are friends of this committee. We also have the clerks and the secretariat giving support to the committee. We have members of the public, and then we have the press with us. We want to begin the session. I request that you give us a brief introduction into your personal background, your professional qualifications, and work experience. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Habiba Ali Malim. I'm a nurse by profession. I was born and brought up in Wajir County. I attended primary level in Buna. I studied my high school in Wajir Girls High School. I hold a master's degree in reproductive health, graduated from University of Nairobi. I also hold Bachelor of Science in Nursing, graduated from Kenya Methodist University in Meru. I also hold Diploma in Nursing, graduated from Kenya Medical Training College, Embu. Regarding my work experience, I've worked both in public and private sector. In public sector, I've worked in Wajir Hospital as a hands-on nurse for a period of 6 years. I've also worked in Garissa Provincial Hospital. By then, it was a provincial hospital for a period of 4 years. I've also worked at national level, that is in Bagadi Hospital in Nairobi City County, for a period of 8 years at managerial level. I was coordinating nursing services activity in the entire facility. And I've also worked in Somalia with the Irish organization, PROCRA, as nursing services manager, where I was coordinating all nursing activity in the entire Gedo region in Jubaland. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Aden.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable nominee, congratulations
Thank
for
you.
your assigned docket. Kindly tell us the committee before you. How will you handle the huge bending bill Wajir County, especially the docket you are assigned to? Thank you.
Thank you. The committee before me is the vetting committee. Regarding the bending bill, I was told that the bending bill of my docket is around 1.3 billion. When I go in, probably after being sworn in, the first thing is that I need to have meeting with the chief officers, the outgoing chief officers, because they understand the sector before more than me. since I'm new. So I get to know what is there. And as a policymaker, as a CEC health, uh, I'm going to prioritize in payment of the pending bill, because if the pending bill is 1.3 billion, and I say that the first year when I came in, I'll offset the entire bill, so I don't have anything to run with the entire health sector. And in that, the service delivery will be compromised. So I prioritize and see what I can pay, and then the others I'll inform the people maybe who are owing us the debt that they should wait and see how I'm going to really offset. And then the other thing is that I need to mobilize for funds, because the allocation that we are given, probably because of the wider geographical area that we are covering, may not be enough. So I need to source for funds, approach the donors. I was meant to understand that the donors we have, UNICEF, World Vision, and so on. So I lobby for more funds so that I'll be able to really try to offset the bill, to really run the healthcare program so that the standards are not compromised across.
Honorable Hamid.
There are some critical services that are not available in the sub-county health centers, like dental services. You find a mother traveling all the way from Hadado, for example, coming to Wajir Referral Hospital. What plans do you think can be done to so that those people can have services rendered in the sub-counties? Thank you.
Yeah, first and foremost, according to SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, uh, every individual is entitled to a good health. So we must make sure that we equip all our health facilities. And when I came in as a CC, one of my plans is to sit down with the stakeholders, try to source for funds, and see where I can be able to bridge the gaps. And then and see whether we can be able to bridge the gaps in terms of uh, of making sure that we achieve the universal health goal for the people of Wajir. And the other one is that I need to do a baseline survey for Wajir County Hospital, for sub-county hospital, so that I'll be able to know where the challenges are. Once I understand the challenges that the health sector is facing, now I'll try to source for funds. And then there are some critical things that we must have in place always. I'll make sure that we prioritize when we do our budgeting. We prioritize, we ensure that the facilities have essential medicines. We ensure that our critical services like the emergency response are working well. And I'll ensure that we have buffer stock. For buffer stock is a backup for in case we get out of we get shortages, we must have a backup so that in case of epidemics, in case of an outbreak, we'll be able to go back to your source and see whether we can tackle. And then community engagement, I need to do that also, and meeting with the relevant stakeholders so that we'll be able to, and it will be a lot on my neck, I know, because planning a healthcare facility is not easy. But with a proper plan, with the support from the governor, with the support from the community, with the support from this house, I'll be able to push my agenda forward. And I'll also request you, honorable members, you are representing a ward. Make sure that whenever maybe I go and do the visits, you will accompany me and identify the gaps that those health facilities are facing so that we'll be able to work together effectively.
Thank you. Honorable Majority Leader. Situations which last time happens that during COVID-19 it led to impeachment of the former government. How do you address this in the near future? Such thing cannot happen.
So, what are those situations? Because is it the issue? What are the issues?
The issues of blackout, maybe
Okay, thank you.
blackout during the election time, other issues like that.
Thank you very much. What I will do is first you assess. Once I go into the office, I need to assess the current supply source of power for all the facilities, including our county referral hospital and the sub county. Once I assess, I need to take it up with a relevant authority, that is Kenya Power and Lighting, and inform them that power is very important because, like in Wajir County, we do cesarean section and so on. So at any one time, we must have a power. So I'll try to liaise with them and ensure that the power is available for all our health facilities. And number two, I need to have a mechanism in a way that we have a backup method, so that in an event that there's no power, we indulge ourselves to backup system, including, for example, we need to have a generator for example, in Wajir County Referral Hospital, because that is where the bulk of patient comes. So at least a backup must be there to enable the critical services not to be interrupted. Another way that we can do is that Wajir is a sunny place, so we can tap the potentiality in it by installing a solar system in our facility. Once we are done with the county referral hospital, I cascade the same agenda or the same opportunity to other sub-county hospital and ensure that we have a solar. A solar probably installation could cost, it requires funds, but because it is very critical to have power in place. So I'll take it up with the governor. I'll take up with the deputy governor. I'll take up with the board and everyone who is involved to make sure that the facilities have enough source of power.
Honorable Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Habiba, I want to ask you a question. Ambulance services has been a problem to the county where patients are all time forced to pay the fuel and the driver allowances. How are you going to address these concerns?
Okay, thank you for the question. When I go in an area that I will instill a lot of professionalism is the issue of ambulance. And I must provide the leadership to ensure that ambulances are made free of charge to the people of Wajir County. Because there are set rules, there are set regulations, there are SOPs, standard operating procedures for the ambulances, and everyone should know that ambulances are free of charge and should follow the protocol. And then the other thing I'll do is that we normally have emergency response unit. Where I used to work, there's an emergency response department. probably maybe it is also available in Wajir County. I make sure that the person who is coordinating the referrals, the person who is coordinating the emergency department should ensure that ambulances are used for the work that is intended. And the other thing is that I need to come up with a system called feedback complaint mechanism, where I provide a hotlines line. Especially, I'll probably start with Wajir County, with the Wajir County Referral Hospital, provide a hotline so that in case there are complaints, in case there are issues in the public, they call that number, and we account the person who maybe probably have offended the mistake. So probably this is just networking. This is coordination with the team who is on the ground, and some things are just simple because I really don't know why people are really subjecting people to such. But I'll provide leadership and ensure that the people of Wajir will not suffer. Thank you.
Honorable, would you speak up?
Madam Habiba, I would like to ask, there are a number of health facilities in Wajir County, and equally there are a number of health workers. It has come to my knowledge that majority of the health workers are around Wajir town. Majority of them are refusing to go to the rural areas to serve at the facilities, clinics at the location level. What will you do as a CEC, given that opportunity, to make sure that those clinics at the far end of Wajir have sufficient staff?
Okay. First, I have to meet the staffs, both in Wajir County Referral Hospital and sub-county facilities. They should understand that during employment, there's a place where they sign a contract that any staff can be posted anywhere. So the issue of people probably staying in town should not arise because it is clearly stated. But I know what you have asked me is true. People really want to stay in big town as compared to lower health facilities. So, and my assumption is that people normally say there's insecurity. Another assumption I have is that people are posted to rural health facilities as a punishment. Under my leadership, that will not arise. And security, I don't think whether it is a very big issue because sub-counties like, for example, facilities in Bute, there's no insecurity. Facilities in Habaswene, there's no insecurity. Facilities in Buna, there's no insecurity. But there are some circumstances where probably security of the staff may be compromised. Example of it is facilities that are across the border, for example, in Korofarar, another facility is the Chibula, and so on. So in such scenario, I'll liaise with the relevant authority. I'll liaise with the county commissioner. I will liaise with the deputy county commissioner. I will liaise with the community who are our beneficiaries to make sure that staffs are provided with adequate security. And also they should give, in case there are early warnings in those cross-border facilities, we should be informed in time so that we'll be able to take a necessary action. Another thing as a CEC that I will do is that I'll approach the governor and the staffs. I'll come up with a policy on rotation that every staff should not serve in one place for more than 3 years, because the contract is clearly indicated that a staff can work anywhere. within the county. So if a staff, for instance, has worked in DIF for 3 years, must have an opportunity to come back and work in Wajir Hospital. If a staff has been, for example, worked in Wajir Hospital for 3 years, so I'll try to work around that and ensure that a rotation policy is put in place. Another measures as a CC that I might come up with is I provide the staffs with social amenities. That is a way of motivating staffs, because once you motivate the staffs, the productivity will also increase. And also, once you improve those sub-county health facilities, people will be attracted to move from the town and move to work in those facilities. One way I should do is that we all know that we have staff quotas in those health facilities. I'll make sure that I improve the staff quotas by probably renovating, because probably putting up a structure might be costly, but it's good also to think around that line. I'll also ensure that the staffs are provided with clean water supply. I'll also make sure that the toilets and everything are also, they are also probably made clean, and they have casual to work for them. I'll also provide recreational activities, because most of our workforce, they are teenagers, and we all know that teenagers, they like footballs, they like gym, they like tennis ball and something like that. So I'll ensure that, and probably something like football, probably something like that. It doesn't really cost a lot, but I'll think around that and make sure that people are attracted to work in those health facilities, because for sure, what comes first are our beneficiaries. Our beneficiary interest supersedes our interest. So in that, that is what I'm going to do for the staff.
Thank you, Habiba. You have a great vision for your department, but there's something called resistance to change. So when you get to your department, you will come across an established network, what we call cartels in Nigeria, who will block your vision. And they're very important in ensuring they deliver the vision that you have. They are a critical component in ensuring that you deliver on the vision. So how do you juggle this conundrum? People who are supposed to help you fulfill your vision, and at the same time, they are an obstacle to the implementation of your vision.
Okay, thank you for the question. Mostly, a change comes with the system, and then as a manager, when you want to make a change, you don't rush. You need to take people very, very slowly. So I will measures that I will take probably is that I will have meetings with the relevant departmental units. I'll explain my vision clearly, because when people are informed, it is from the word go. I have to set my targets with my team, because I have chief officers who are reporting to me. We have directors. We have CHMTs. So I'll explain my vision. I'll set my targets and talk to the staff that this is what I want. This is how it is supposed to be done, and I'll also support them, because sometimes you want to come up with a change very fast, but the staff themselves, they don't have support. I'll support, provide a leadership where necessary, and with that, I'll also probably advise them to come up with their work plan and monitor the work plan. If it is a CHMT, I was told we have around 40 CHMTs, each representing a unit. So each one to come up with their work plan and probably also follow a proper channel of communication. Once you follow proper channel of communication, I'm sure you will win the heart of the staff because sometimes you realize that you are CEC, a policy maker, and a patient, there's no oxytocin or there's no essential, just a mere paracetamol in the facility, and then you are called as a CEC to come and address. I will not accept that. So you give staffs, you cooperate with the staff. For you to make a change, you cooperate with the staff, you listen, you support them, and introduce a change. I know a change has a resistance, introduce a change, and then you watch over. Once you have introduced, you watch over to see. Is it people really appreciating, are they really appreciating the changes that we are making? You observe because sometimes when you make a change and people come up with strike. So basically, I will engage my staffs, my department, and ensure that things are done smoothly, and 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 also the staffs are supported.
Thank you very much. We now give you an opportunity to make a comment or ask a question.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And also thank our Honorable Governor for giving me this opportunity to serve the people of Wajir. And the cooperation I need from you with the members of County Assembly, and I was told there are health committees, probably within the MCS. I need your support. I'm open dialogue. I'm open to discussion. I listen. So, in case, as I had said earlier, in case the 30 words that you are presenting, their health facilities, in case they are challenged, really needed for the daily operation. It requires a lot of money and funds. So we work together closely, push for us the budget, and with that, we'll be able to work. Feel free to contact me anytime. I represent your interests. I represent the interests of the community of Wajir. Uh, so you are welcome.
Thank you, Hiba. On behalf of the Assembly, we want to assure you we avail you any support what you need. Thank you. Honorable members, we are breaking for lunch. We will reconvene 2:30, inshallah.